Coast to Coast Pick 5. $1 minimum. Player-friendly 15% takeout. Coast to Coast Pick 5.
Alexa Zepp here to preview your Coast to Coast Pick 5. Our friends over at First Racing have one of the best bets in the game. It is every Saturday and Sunday. It connects 5 races across Gulfstream and Santa Anita. It has a $1 minimum and a 15% takeout. So it's very player-friendly and produces a lot of great payoffs. And we at DRF offer free past performances for all the races in the sequence. So let's take a look at the sequence for Sunday, April 28th. The first race in this sequence is Gulfstream Race 8, scheduled at 1:50 Pacific. It's a maiden special weight going 7 furlongs on the dirt. I like the number 4, D Hopper. He won his debut, but was disqualified and placed second. So for me, that's a vote of confidence that he can get to the winner's circle. Mike Maker and Jaramillo win at a 33% clip when they team up. He ran okay last out. The winner just got away from him, and then that winner came in, won again at Tampa with a 79 buyer. Maker's adding blinkers on Sunday, which should also help his cause. The number 8, Hours in a Day, it will also be on my ticket. This horse has the best Tomlinson rating in here, and again, powerful connections with Pletcher and Rapoli duo. This horse is by Gunrunner, whose first-timers win at a 16% clip. Standing there, race 3, going off at 2 o'clock Pacific, is the second leg of this wager. It's a Calbred allowance for 3-year-olds going 6 furlongs on the turf. I like 3 horses in here. The number 3, Known Idea, has been in pretty consistent form. It's an early speed type, and last race had a closing bias. It was also in stakes company, and he was just a bit over his head in there. He's coming off a really fast work last week, going 4 furlongs and 47. Sadler's 20% for first-time turfers, and this one has the best ranked turf pedigree in the field. The number 1, Final Storm, is coming off a win and ran an impressive race 2 back, even though her placing doesn't really show it. D'Amato wins 26% with over a $2 ROI when he moves his runners from dirt to turf. The number 7, Refocus. This horse is 2 for 5, but those 3 losses came against stakes company. And so far, when he's faced competition at this level, he's sat right off the pace and drawn clear to win. So this fast pace does set up for him. The third leg of the sequence is Gulfstream Race 9, scheduled at 2:21 Pacific. It is a sprint going 5 furlongs on the turf for fillies, 3-year-olds, and up. I like the number 2, Choose Joy. This 7-year-old mare is a closer, got second in her last 2 races, both to Stone Silent. Now, Stone Silent is not running today, but has just run a lot of big, impressive numbers. So, her losing to Stone Silent doesn't bother me. Also, in those last 2 races, she's been stuck on her left lead, which is something you do see pop up quite a bit throughout her running lines. She is the strongest closer in the race, and there's enough speed for her to run into as long as she can get on that right lead and really get her momentum going. The number 6, Wide West. Every time this horse has won, she's wired the field. She should be the pace setter today. She's coming off a number of really fast workouts that should have her really tightened up and ready. The fractions in her last race were so incredibly fast. That first fraction was 20-2. So it really did give the advantage to the closers, and I am okay for giving that effort. If you like number 6, Wide West, you have to like number 8, St. Pat's Day. This one has beat Wide West 2 back with a 91 buyer. She was the disappointing favorite in her last out, which was that same really fast-paced race that Wide West was in, although she did fare a bit better than Wide West in that race. The next race in the sequence is Santa Anita Race 5, scheduled at 3 o'clock Pacific. It's an allowance going a mile on the turf for 4-year-olds and up. I like 3 horses in here. The number 3, Dandy Man Shines. This horse is a closer, has been consistently improving every time he goes out. They stepped him up to graded stakes company in his last 3 races, and it was just too tough for him. But he really didn't run poorly. It was just too tough a spot. His last out buyer was a 92, which is tied for the best last out in this field. Umberto Rispoli climbs aboard again on Sunday. The number 7, Dean Martini. This horse has been improving, but more than anything, I really like the pace setup for him. He's really the only speed in here. Peter Yurton got this horse and switched him to turf, and he's just been running really well since then. He's been running 9 furlong races, so I do think this cutback to 8 will benefit him. He's coming off a really long layoff, the longest he's had in his career. So for me, the question is if he will be fit and ready, but he does seem to be training well. The number 4, Crosby Beach, this horse has super consistent form. He pretty much always hits the board when running at this level. He likes the distance and he likes this course. He's just missing his last 2 out. His last out Beyer was 92, which is tied for the best in this field with the number 3, Dandy Man Shines. I expect him to sit a few lengths off the pace and give a late run. The final leg of this cross-country pick 5 is Santa Anita Race 7, scheduled at 4 o'clock Pacific. It's an allowance optional claimer for 3-year-old Cowbreds going a mile on the turf. I like 2 horses in here. The number 6, Curlin's Chaos. Last out was the Grade 1 Santa Anita Derby, where he split the field, but did run his best lifetime Beyer. And before that was the Grade 3 Sunland Derby, where he again ran a nice Beyer and split the field. Those races were just too tough a spot. And he's going to face a lot easier competition today. And his one win was at this distance on this turf at Santa Anita. The number 7, Size Does Matter. Last out was his first race under Peter Miller's guidance, and he improved 16 speed points. Lucia has that replay for you. He nearly won that race, only losing by a nose, and the horse that beat him that day was Lamborghini, who improved off that start and has proven to be a really tough competitor. Size Does Matter did win the gallop out, and Hernandez climbs aboard again today. So hopefully he can get him started a little bit sooner because he was really far back. And just get him positioned a little better so he's not forced to have that really wide trip. That race was, again, identical to today's conditions. So it gives me confidence that this is a really good spot for him. When we put it all together, this ticket costs $108. Remember, this bet has a $1 minimum, so the cost is higher, but that means the reward is also greater. It really does produce great payouts. Remember to access your free DRF past performances every Saturday and Sunday for the Coast to Coast Pick 5.